Solidarity, comrades. Today I want to talk about the soft coup, specifically in the realm of 20th and 21st century, late 20th century and 21st century Latin America. Now, this culture of coups in South America goes back to the Cold War era, when the United States would help overthrow a democratically elected or semi-leftist government in Latin America and install a dictatorship. They installed Batista in Cuba under a fascist dictatorship. They disposed of Salvador Allende in 1973 in Chile and installed Pinochet, who was also a fascist. You saw 3 or 4 coups in Brazil, military juntas. The same with military juntas in Argentina. And you had the fascist Fujimori installed in Peru. And you had in Nicaragua, the fascist coup against the Contras against the socialist Sandinistas. The list goes on. And these are what they consider hard coups. But now today you see with any nominally left of center government in Latin America that opposes the global hegemony of the United States, you see pressure, imperialist pressure from the West through the media, through economic actions, through paid protests. First example, Venezuela. Venezuela, since its Bolivarian revolution started in 1999 when Hugo Chavez was elected, and started implementing new policies for the new Bolivarian Republic, that they rejected American imperialism. Now, you can call them socialists or not, but they very much are anti-imperialist, and that made America mad. So in 2002, they attempted a hard coup against them, and it failed. And this is one of the few failed ones since the Cold War era. So the West needed a new tactic to stop this, and this is the so-called soft coup. And so, as of the beginning of, well, throughout the Chavez, but especially since the beginning of the Maduro presidency in Venezuela, you have seen a lot of protests from middle class and rich Venezuelans against the socialist government, while the masses are trying to create a communal state. And the National Assembly, which is made up mostly of the opposition, the right-wing opposition that wants to overthrow, that is U.S. funded and supported, has not been doing their job in the National Assembly and has been breaking the Constitution. And they are attempting to remove Maduro from his presidency illegally, essentially creating a soft coup. And this is an attempt of Western imperialism to get rid of someone who does not follow their imperialist world hegemony. A second example is Ecuador. After Rafael Correa's socialist movement got elected, the United States attempted sometime in the mid-2000s to attempt a right-wing coup, and there was they almost kidnapped Rafael Correa and everything, but they ended up fighting it back. But that's another example of a hard coup that failed. So this is another example that the West is switching to this new tactic. And a really good example right now is the final example right now, for example, sorry, I said example like 5 times, is Brazil with Dilma Rousseff being suspended, not impeached, suspended. They're trying to impeach her from the presidency of the United States. She's a part of the Workers' Party that was founded by Lula, the very popular president amongst the working class of Brazil. Now, the Workers' Party was in a coalition with Dilma, a pretty broad coalition, and including the centrist party that the current acting president uh, is is a part of, and there was these allegations of corruption with some sort of company against Dilma Rousseff. And it turned out none of this was true, and that the people that were implicit were the ones that were trying to get her out of office, like the current president Timmer. So they suspended her from office and installed Timmer as president. And with the new alliances in government, they have been implementing neoliberal austerity measures and been acting on behalf of Western imperialism, while the Workers' Party were not. They were on the progressive side of foreign policy. They were not bowing down to the United States, South American imperialism. Lula's making a comeback in the polls, but I'm not sure they're going to allow him to run. I'm not a big fan of the Workers' Party. They're social democratic at best. But when it comes down to an anti-democratic coup, a soft coup against a elected government in a bourgeois democracy, you're talking about reactionaries versus somewhat progressives, and you have to resist reactionaries because you're reversing the progress that has been made. Because if you take things back, then the conditions for the means of production to transfer to the working class won't exist. So that was just my short talk on soft coups, and a little bit of backstory of why it's very popular and very prevalent within Latin America, and how we should watch other states watch closely for soft coups. Oh, Honduras as well had a soft coup for their president in 2011, and that formed a new left-wing party in Honduras, and that's another example of U.S. imperialism in Latin America. So comment down below what you think about this whole soft coup situation, and what other countries might be susceptible to these soft coup tactics, through economic blockades and imperialism, propaganda wars, and stuff like that. Just let me know what you think. Comment. Let's talk below, and have a good day, comrades. Solidarity.